And this should work. Hello, everyone. I don't have a lot of time available as I gotta go pick up my kid at daycare soonish enough. Just finished working. But I just wanted to do a quick video to look at customer creation in Baldur's Gate 3 that just came out a moment ago. So, just gonna adjust the volume of the game so we can hear each other out. And how's it going today, by the way? So, I won't be getting into the game today. Well, I will later today, but for now, we're just going to take a look at the character creation. And maybe also that cutscene at the beginning. Because why not? Turn on the volume a bit more for this. Oh man, I've been waiting for that game for so long. Is that working? How does it say disabled? Should be working. Anyway. Hmm. Okay, so we have a visual on everything we need to create a character. Now, it seems like the pre-made character like Astarion, Lae'zel, Will, Shadowheart, and Gale are not available in the early access yet, so cannot play these. We have to make a custom character. So for now, gonna make a male guy. Since I'm Dr. Spaceman, it will be fitting to call him Cyril. And Sage, you're curious, well-read, and unending thirst for knowledge. Yeah, I want to make a wizard, so I think that'll be fitting. So we have an overview on the left here of what's being selected. On the right, we're doing the choices. And at the top, there's different tabs to choose what we want. So just find something. Yeah, it is public. Okay. So now I can choose a race here. So I can go with elf, and there's subtypes here. So there's high health, wood elf. Okay, that's the only two for the elves right now. And they come with a cantrip. So there's minor illusion. So that creates an illusory image that distracts nearby creatures, compelling them to investigate. Can actually be pretty interesting for sneaking. Yeah, Kevin, it just came out about an hour ago, an hour and 11 minutes to be exact. So, and on Stadia, no download required, so it's already there. So, if I change to Wood Elf, the cantrip is no longer there. So, there's a few features that change. Yeah, time to go get it. That's what I did. I had to wait until I was done with work to before playing, though. So, yeah, there's a few features here that you'll get if you're a high elf, including the cantrip. that will change if you're a wood elf. Oh, wood elf, you gain Mask of the Wild, I think. And fleet of foot. Foot. Okay, yeah. So, Master of the Wild, you will rise to blend in natural surrounding. You get proficiency in stealth and base walking speed of 10.5 meter instead of 9 meters. I don't know if it changes depending the country where you're playing at. Like if you're in the US, it gives you feet, or don't know at all. So there's a few other features here. Dexterity is the same whether you're high elf or wood elf. Now, if we go for Tiefling, so about you got the Asmodeus Tieflings, Mephistopheles Tiefling, Zariel Tiefling, and yeah, that's all three of them. So, by the way, if you just joined, I won't be actually playing. I'll just do character creation because I gotta go pick up my kid at daycare in not too long. But tonight I'll do a live play of the game. So, for now, we're just gonna go in depth for character creation. So, yeah, they each have their description, race features. So, it gives hellish resistance, which protects you from flame. So, only half damage. That's good. And dark vision, intelligence, and charisma. Now, this one, okay, it looks like they all have mostly the same thing, except this one gets strength if you get Zariel Tiefling instead of intelligence for the other one, and the cantrip change. So, if you don't know what a cantrip is, it's a basic spell that you have available that you can use at will. So, if you get like level 1 or level 2 spell, there's a number of time per day you can use these spells until they're expired, and you need either a short rest or a long rest to be able to use them again, and it will each give you back different amount of charges. So if you get an Asmodeus Tiefling, you'll get the Transmutation cantrip. So yeah, manifests a sign of supernatural power that grants you advantage on intimidation and performance check. Thaumaturgy, which is a transmutation school. And you get, for Mephistopheles Tiefling, you get Mage Hand, which is a pretty useful cantrip. Allows you to do all kind of manipulation, like open the door from a distance or stuff like that. You need to be able to see what you're doing, but it allows you to lift like 5 pounds, something like that. So that can actually be very useful for a lot of things, for like resolving puzzles and all that. Oh, and Zariel gets the same as the Asmodeus cantrip, so the Thaumaturgy. So that's good. Now we go with the draw. Oh, I want to do. That's the male model for the elf, and that's the female model. Now Tiefling, male model, female model. Now if we go for Drows, so that's a female model, and there's male. So but also, if you don't know the origin of each of these species, elf have been around for a very long time. They're a more of a noble race that has lived for millennia. Tiefling are hellish descendants from an evil background, but they don't have to be evil. It's just their heritage that they have from that, which is why they get hellish resistance and all that. And the Drow are basically elves, but from the underworld. So there's actually a whole world built underground, the Underdark, and that's where they originate from. So you got a choice of the Lothsworn Drow, the Seldarin Drow, and that's it. So you got two choices for them. So as for the race features, just checking to see if there's any difference. Doesn't seem to be a lot. It seems to be mostly the same. So it'll be just the origins that'll change. So I'm pretty sure maybe some dialogue options might come from this. So that will be the main Gianki, and they get superior dark vision, so they see 24 meters away in total darkness, which ties down to their underdark origin. Because over there is no light ever. There has never been any light. Human is one of the more recent races in the Dungeons and Dragon world. They haven't been around for a while, so. And there's not even any variant here, it's just humans. So, the most common face to see if humans are known for their tenacity, creativity, and endless capacity for growth. So here's the male model for human and female. Of course, we can modify these while creating the character. I'm just going through every race here to see what's available. So they're pretty standard. They get a +1 bonus to every single stat. So that's more points than you will see with other races, but they're all spread out. But also, you don't see like any affinity like the Drows. They had rapier proficiency with, and also the short sword and all that. And Tiefling had its own perks. Human gets none of these perks, but they're all around a bit better for base stats. And normally you get an additional feat for being a human, but I might be mistaken with Pathfinder rules. So now for Gitianki, that's a race I'm not too familiar with. I don't know if it's been heavily featured before Baldur's Gate 3, but I think they are in the books. I'd have to verify. But I'm less familiar with that species, so Peerless Warrior. Also, there's no variant, just like humans. You get the Gitianki, and it's what you get. So, Peerless Warrior from the Astral Plane, known for the legendary Silver Blaze and Red Dragon Mounts, they seek the total destruction of Mind Flayers, whose ancient empire enslaved their Githyanki for millennia. So, yeah, you have the female model and the male model. Race features, so base racial speed, good intelligence and strength, light armor proficiency, medium armor. Okay, so those are all pretty standard. It's good that they have them. And Kintianki Psionic Mage Hand. Oh, what's different with a regular Mage Hand? Create an invisibly spectral hand that can manipulate and interact with objects. Sounds pretty similar to, was it this one? Yeah, like over here for Tiefling, you just get Mage Hand. While Gitchianki, it's Gitchianki Psionic Mage Hand. So I don't see any 18 meters. Could be in range. No. Concentration required. So they do seem to be exactly the same, but they're not titled the same for some reason. Now, for dwarves, there's a gold dwarf, shield dwarf. Okay, two subspecies for dwarf. That's a male model, and if we go to a shield dwarf, that's a female model. Okay, so gold dwarf are known for the confidence and keen intuition. Okay, yeah. Now let's just look at the race features to see if there's any difference. I don't see any yet. Okay, sub-race traits, so now there will be a difference. So if you get a gold dwarf, you'll get +1 wisdom, which would be good to make a cleric. Dwarves are known to make awesome clerics. And dwarven toughness, so more hit point. Okay, 1 at the beginning and 1 for every level, so that's pretty good. And base speed for race. Okay, and for shield dwarf, you get +2 to strength, light armor and medium armor proficiency. So probably good for fighter and maybe for a ranger, since you get medium armor and not heavy. Fighter probably would be good for shield dwarf. And if we change, yeah, no difference with the gender. So that's pretty good. Now if we go with half health, and there is high half health, wood half health, and drow half health. So yeah, they included drow in the half elf now. So seeing as it is an elfic race, so now what are the big differences between them? So there'll be the story for sure. I half elf get the cantrip that the high elf do get. As for we can customize that. Oh, we can actually choose which cantrip we're getting. So like if we want firebolt, even if you're not a wizard, for example, you would still get the firebolt. That's interesting. Hmm. And I wonder if you get these as a cantrip, like you can use it as many times as you want, or if you have only a certain amount of use per day. So we'll see this in the game. And race feature, okay, half health are they get some perk of the human that they're more uh, they go easier from one class to the other. So they allow you to choose which ability gets an improvement. So you can remove them and give them like two intel. You're limited to one though. Unless there's a star next to wisdom. Okay, no. So you can send the +1 bonuses wherever you want, but maximum one per ability improvement. So it's good to know. And other than that, you get pretty high half elf. You get +2 charisma with a half elf as well. The rest seems pretty standard, except that they do get a cantrip for drow, dancing light. That's a fun one to either distract some guys. Yeah, they're getting the same one as the drows. So dancing light is useful for making light to light up your way, even though they have dark vision. But if you have any companions that don't have dark vision, you can light up their path, or you can do indications or just distract a guard. Normally, dancing light in the rules, you're in the books, you're allowed to actually make the silhouette of a person to make him think there's someone walking in a direction, for example, just to distract them. So that's good. And there's the halfling, so that's the same as the hobbits if you've been reading or watching the Lord of the Rings. So yeah, Lightfoot halflings, very stealthy, very agile. There's a Strongheart halfling. Okay, so two subspecies for the halfling. So this one +2 dexterity, lucky. So that will be an excellent um, rogue. Yeah, naturally stealthy. So your nimble nature makes you skilled at concealment. You have proficiency in stealth check, and +1 to charisma. And okay, so this one's good for stealth. The Strongheart halfling instead get Strongheart resilience. You have advantage in saving throws against poison and resistance to poison damage. Now, actually, that wouldn't be a bad thing for a rogue to have either, but maybe more of a fighting rogue, because rogues will have to manipulate poisons all the time. There is a perk you can get at one moment, though, that will allow your rogue to never get poisoned by his own poison. So that's still interesting that they got that. So when you get a feat, for example, you might want to get another feat that since he's already good against poisons. So some pretty good stuff. And you have the female model for the halfling. I think I didn't do them for wait, where is it? Okay. Now we have the female model for the Lightfoot halfling. Half elf, I think I forgot to do both gender, so that's the high half elf. Female wood half elf. The female drow half elf. And there's the male, so drow half elf male, high half elf, and wood half elf. So now I'm gonna make my own character that I want to play. So I want to go male. I did call him Zero. I want to go with a tiefling because there's a bonus to intelligence and charisma. Is it the one I wanted? Is it? Might want to go with another one that's +2 to intelligence, which would be elves. Oh, they only get +1. We get dexterity. Okay, I'm gonna go tiefling. Now I've got the choice of Asmodeus Tiefling, Mephistopheles Tiefling, and Azariel Tiefling. If I take this one, I will want Mage Hand, so that would allow me, that will free up one of my spells, so I don't have to take it at this moment. And what were the other difference? Okay, yeah, I don't want Strength, so it needs to be one of these two, and there doesn't seem to be... Okay, yeah, it's just a spell. So between Thaumaturgy and Mage Hand, I want to go for Mage Hand. So just in perks alone, I do think that's the one I will go with. So descended from the Archdevil Mephistopheles, these tieflings are gifted with a particular affinity for arcane magic. Seems pretty good for a wizard. So I will go with this. Now I will swatch the appearance tab. Now I already selected the gender. Now here's the time to select a voice.
Something just woke up down here.
Oh, that's pretty nice voice. That's a
Stone's less worn here.
Something just woke up down.
So they still allow you to choose a female or male or female voice depending on which gender you selected. So there's a bit more freedom. Not a lot of voices though, so we got 2 male, 2 females for this one. So I'll go with voice number 3. Now, as for head, I'll go back to the beginning. So there's him. Just gonna cycle through them. Models are really well made. Not too easy to choose. There is some difference, but a lot of similarities. Okay, I'll go with this one. Now the horn type. How many? Okay, I can go hornless. Okay, he got his horn chopped off. Horns 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I like that. 4, more simple. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A lot of choices. 14. Okay, so which would look like 4, 5, 2, 3. All twisted. That's nice. Skin color. Now, all skin color. Okay, so I'm guessing those are suggested tones for the race. And this is giving every single palette available. If I want to have an orange, yellow, brown, really white, blue tone. Yeah, I don't hate the blue tone. Yeah, I might go for a light blue tone. That's good. An eyes color. Oh, that does something interesting right there. So now hairstyle. Guess yeah, that should be a good view. Let's get back to number 1, and there's bald. Actually looks better than I expected for a tiefling. Yeah, that's some rich hair right there. A bit too much for the wizard I want. Kind of like this one. It's number 6. Hmm. 12 is good. Yeah, it looks really great. I won't be playing for. Well, actually, I won't even be playing. I'm just doing a character creation because I have to go soonish to pick up my kid at daycare. Yeah. I'm also working at home. I just finished my work day not too long ago. Okay. Oh, model disappeared. Not okay. Now it's there. Okay. So I did say 6, and it was another version with shorter hair that I did like. Yeah, that I think works well for a wizard. Practical, not too much in the way. So yeah, Rectone and Ex Macchiato. That's a nice name. So you guys doing well? Can go for a little scruff. Hmm. So I'm gonna go with a short beard for the wizard who doesn't have time to maintain it too much, so just lets it grow. There was another one like, nah, not this. Yeah, kind of like this one. Hair color. Do we want something funky? Yeah, that clashes. I want to go a bit more sober. Cool blue guy. If you played Baldur's Gate before, I I actually tried the first one, I think, but I'm not a fan of the pause and click gameplay. I never have. I'm thinking about getting wait for release. The thing is, I've played a bunch of tabletop Dungeons and Dragon with pen and paper, with throwing the dice. That I've played a bunch. But the Baldur's Gate, they've made the first and the second one because how it's laid out, that you have to press pause, do your actions, and let resume. I don't feel like you have a full control of your character's action that way, not the same as the pen and paper version of the game. So for that reason, I was really excited when they started talking about Baldur's Gate 3 that it would be turn based because that is really to the heart of what the tabletop version is, that you're all gathered around a table and you have your initiative that you each take your turn, you do all your stuff. So that will be the first Baldur's Gate I actually really get into playing for that reason because it's a lot closer to the original game, not to the original Baldur's Gate, but the original Dungeons and Dragons type of game. So that's why I really like about this game. So I can't wait to actually get into the gameplay. I'll go with that brown there. It looks fine. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into it. And they said the other games, the first two Baldur's Gate, if you play it, you'll get a lot of reference from the story for characters and all that. But it's not necessary to get into Baldur's Gate 3. So it's a standalone adventure that does follow up a bit on the story, but it gives you all the information you need to understand it. So it's not a problem for that. And I did look a little bit at videos that explained the story of what was going on in the other games, but it is made to be standalone. Tattoo style. Yeah, it was a tattoo, bunch of birds in his face. And there's some weird octopus going out of his eyes. Eyes plural, it came out of both eyes. Some weird writing on his forehead. Markings. Other markings. Looks good. I don't think I'm gonna put any tattoos on him though. Wow, that looks great with the horns, so might actually go for that one. Because I gave him a beard, and some of the tattoo designs are broken by it, and I can customize the tattoo a bit, which is nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go with not a blue ink. Gray, green, or black? Gonna go black. And just a bit of a hint. Like it's not opaque, it's just there a little bit. That looks nice. Makeup, I could put some makeup on him. Just putting a weird color so we can clearly see what the designs are. That's not a color I'm gonna go with. Probably not gonna put makeup, but I just want to see. Whoa. Crying mascara thing there. That's actually scary. Guy just came out of like the ring, like straight out of a nightmare. Okay. Oh, there's some interesting patterns there. Cool, but no makeup. Yeah. Kind of gives an interesting touch though. It's not just female stuff, there is some stuff for enhancing the look of the guy you're making. So, now I think I'm. Do I want to go with that appearance? Yeah, I'll go with it. Whatever. Now, class, I want to do a wizard. So, Wizard Cyril. Wizard, Master of the Arcane. I'm still going to look at all the other classes though. So, there's a Cleric, which is typically the healer of the party, but Cleric are still pretty good in fight, depending on how you play them. Like, there's the Domain here, subclass. Life Domain, which will be mainly healing. Light Domain, Trickery Domain. That's like Trickery Domain. Domain shared by wicked, chaotic, and mischievous deities alike. Those who channel trickery specialize in deception and illusion magic. So that's what I was saying. It's not just for healers. Cleric, depending on which domain you select, there's not a lot of domain yet. But like I know in Pathfinder, I used to make a artificer cleric that could actually manipulate matter. He'd, the other guys were saying it's basically a rock bender, so I was able to like build walls out of stone right in the middle of a fight just to bring us some cover. Or if we were fighting in a cave, I could just like indicate the ceiling and say that I wanted to make like a carve the surrounding of a big lump of rock and have a big rock falling on the enemies. So all kind of funny things like that. That's the fun thing about pen and paper Dungeons and Dragon. You have the freedom to do whatever you can imagine. So playing it in a video game, of course, limits it a bit, but it's still fun. We'll have to see how much freedom they'll allow us in this game. But that's kind of awesome. So, and there's a deity you can choose. Oh, maybe if we change the deity, we actually get different domain. Like here, for example. No, still the same 3 domains. So it doesn't look like the deity will affect which domain we can select. It adds. You'll actually get different spells, I guess, from a different deity. Not even. Maybe at the bottom. Subclass and spell. Miracle. No, I don't see any changes happening for the deity. So basically, the subclass will give you some spells that'll allow you to do and stuff like that. The deity, on the other hand, will allow you. It will be like a mantra for your character. It will guide him in his action and what he wants to accomplish. So that actually can get really interesting into the role play and all that. So yeah, you can have a deity Baal, notorious god of murder, reborn after each of his descendants, or viciously slain, he has a tenuous alliance with Merkel and Bane, the three having attained divinity in a bargain with the fallen god Churgal. So there you have it. Clerics are not always goody two guy that are super saints. They can be badass. They can be evil. They can be whatever you want them to be. So yeah, you have a number of cantrips available that comes with being a cleric that you can customize. So guidance, bestow guidance upon a creature, receive D4 bonus on ability check of its choice. It's pretty good. Light, resistance, sacred flame, thaumaturgy. So yeah, cantrips again, if you weren't there earlier, those are spells you can use at will. So any time of the day you can use the same spell 100 times, it will still work, you're not exhausting it. While other spells only you'll be able to use only a certain amount of time until you actually do a short or long rest, which will give you back a certain amount of spell. And prepared spells, so those are the kind of spells that you only get to do a few times a day. So Bane, Command, Halt, Create Water, Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, Inflict Wounds. So there's a bunch of spells available already, which is nice. So yeah, that's for the cleric. Now, if we look at the fighter, I've mastered the art of combat. Fighters are basically proficient with anything they can wear as armor and weapons. So it says it's the fighter. So they'll have a lot of feat available for special combats and all that. Proficiency here we can see athletic, arcana, history, intimidation. So they'll be good at anything physical. That's their specialty. Now, if we look at ranger, unrivaled scout and tracker, holding a deep connection with nature in order to hunt their favorite prey. So they get a favorite enemy, with which they'll have a bonus if they're fighting against that kind of enemy. Natural explorer, so beast tamer, you have cultivated a strong bond with animals. You can cast find familiar as a ritual. Oh, so normally they'll have a pet that accompanies them in their quest to help them as an additional player basically, but it's an NPC that's just helping you, so that's pretty nice. Urban tracker, oh really, that's nice. Wasteland wanderer, so they'll get advantages depending where they're at, so they're really survivors specialized in surviving in a wild or whatever environment you choose. Now there's a rogue, which is one of my favorite class to play. So you're stealthy, you can do assassination, all that. That's fun. Dexterity, intelligence, and they get some action. So sneak attack with melee and range, and you cannot change them. So sneak attack deal a ton of damage. So deals plus 1 damage, plus 1d6. So that is pretty good. And with range of sneak attack, you only get plus 1d6, so you don't get the additional plus 1. Now there's a warlock here, bound by a pact to an all-powerful patron warlock. So that's a bit similar to a cleric, like you're following the guidance of another being, but that being is not necessarily a god. It can be, here it says the fiend, the great old one. Yeah, so you got they only give us those two choices for now. But the fiend is, so that could be a devil or hellish blessing in return. Okay, yeah. So there is a great being that's hellish that you're following the guidance of, and the great old one. So that's an eldritch being, so similar to a god but not a god. And they get pretty nice cantrip, like the eldritch blast here. That's very powerful. 1d10 force. So that is it in itself very powerful because you can do it as many times as you want. And there is Blade Ward. And you can customize these. So gain resistance, bend bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Chill touch, friends. So there's a bunch of them. That's pretty good. And they also get a bunch of spell they can choose from. So you start with 2 cantrip, 2 spells. So warlocks tend to be more limited in the amount of spells they can do, and a smaller magic pool, but they will be very powerful. A bit similar to sorcerers if you play Pathfinder. And but they do have to follow a patron that's giving them their power. And yeah, it'll give them wisdom saving throw, proficiency, charisma. Actually wondering if I want to do that instead. And are they okay? Yeah, there's a little star here. That's something I just realized now, the way they did it. Depending on the class you're choosing, they'll put a star at a different area, which is the most recommended ability that you need to boost for that class. So cleric runs off wisdom, fighters runs off strength, ranger runs off dexterity, so does rogue. The warlock will use charisma, which is actually good for tiefling because tiefling have strong charisma. And a wizard runs off intelligence. So the wizard was the last one I wanted to check. Master of Arcane by specializing in individual school of magic. Okay, so they learn spells. Got a choice between three cantrips. Now there's only 2 selected already. I'm guessing the third one that we're recommending was Mage Hand, which the tiefling comes with. So now they remove that one from there. I was gonna do a wizard, but I'm tempted to do a warlock. So the wizard has much more spells. Like you see here, if I was looking at warlock, 2 cantrips, 2 spells, and that's it. The wizard, 3 cantrips, 6 spells, and 4 prepared spells. Now, prepared spells, the difference here, the warlock has a certain amount of spell that he knows, and he can always use those. The wizard can learn a large amount of spells, but he has to cherry pick them. To each day, every after each rest, he has to choose which spells he wants prepared for the day. And I think it's only after a long rest he can do that. So, and you can do 1 long rest a day, so once every 24 hours. So, yeah, he has to choose these, and the prepared spell, I guess, is for when you jump in the adventure, you have those already prepared. So, and they got slaying proficiency, darts, and all that. And they get arcane recovery. Once per day out of combat, replenish expended spell slots, which allow you to cast spells. I'm guessing there's a certain amount of spells you can replenish though, but they don't specify. So I was gonna go wizard, but I want to go warlock. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a warlock with a tiefling. That should look pretty good. I need to choose. I'm gonna change that in my origin. Spend your life in service of the temple. No. Charlatan. Okay. You prefer to manipulation, prone to exaggeration, and more to. That could be fun. Deception proficiency, sleight of hand proficiency, criminal, entertainer, folk hero. You're a champion of the common people, challenging tyrants and monsters. Okay. Guild artisan, noble, hermit. You were once sworn to seclusion and continue to prefer solitude over the chaos of society. That works well with a warlock. Outlander, he grew up in the wilds. Okay, yeah. I want to go charlatan. Yep, that's what I'm gonna go with. So now, skills. Skills with proficiency. I get 2, and there's okay that one, or okay, I get deception because of my background. I get to choose 2, so I can get arcana. So that's knowledge about any magic sources and all that. Got knowledge history, intimidation, investigation, nature, and religion. So arcana for sure I want. And do I want intimidation? Yeah, actually, since I'm running off charisma, it's not a bad idea to take intimidation. It's a charisma skill, and yeah, all the other ones are intelligence. Do I want that? Yeah, let's go with that. So it'll be 2 charisma skill, either deception or intimidate someone. And all these I don't have proficiency. Okay. Now for abilities, I want the most charisma possible. So that's what they recommend. Now, something about Dungeons and Dragons. The way ability point works is that, like, here my strength is at 8. I get a -1 here. Every 2 points will either give you a bonus or a malus in this case, or yeah, so a negative. So if I get 10, 10 is average. You get no bonus, no uh, hindrance. And you need to go to 12 to get +1, then +2, +3, up to 20 is the maximum stat you can have. So in the original Dungeons and Dragon, I don't know if they did that for this. So, okay. I don't want to lose too much dexterity. So the way those bonuses work is that you'll have proficiency in certain skills, and if you're doing a skill check, for example, if you want to break a door, well, that's a strength check, so you want to break it down. So, for example, here, that guy wouldn't be too good at breaking doors because he's got -1 here. So you'd roll a 20-sided die, and the game does it for you. Then you take away 1, and you have to check for any other bonuses you might have, like for if you're a fighter with athletic or anything like that. And you put all those modifications together, and that gives you your result. And you'll have a difficulty check to do to know if it was strong enough to break that door, and that is what you're going against. So here, the biggest stats I need here is charisma, which is now at 17, so that's an odd number. What happens with odd number is that the difference between 16 and 17, it won't give you a different bonus, but let's say I'm doing a check against another character and we get the same roll, the one with the highest ability score will win it. So the one with a charisma of 17 will win over someone at 16 with the same score. So I think I will keep it like this.
Tell me, who do you dream of at night?
I'm gonna say an elf, female. Oh, I don't have too much time, so I'll just choose her, and I gotta go. Get this. Yeah, that's good. Now venture forth. Okay. Yeah, I can't press pause. So I do think I'm gonna verify what I did later, and I'm probably gonna recreate the same character, but I won't have time to save for now. I need to go. So that'll be all for now. I'll be back tonight to do some live stream, most probably, depending on the kid, how it goes, all that. So thank you for joining me. This is an exciting game. I will be playing a lot of it. So you can be sure to stick around my channel, subscribe, and come see once in a while. I'll do some live stream of this game, and the videos will be posted on there. If you don't know, I'm also affiliated with Cloudy with a Chance of Games. So go and see their website. I do have a link to their website on my YouTube page in the corner to the right. And we will most probably, at this moment, it is planned that we're going to do a live stream in multiplayer. And Ray has confirmed that he's coming, and also Cloud Gamer 201 will be part of this. And we still have one spot we're looking into. So be sure to take a look at that. That'll be on Cloudy with Games YouTube channel. You can look it up in my suggestion channel on my YouTube channel there. So be sure to stick around. a lot more Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay to become coming on my channel. So thank you for joining me. See you later.